Hey everybody, Mitchell here from thehockeyrefbook.com. In this video, we're going to be looking at another example of a potential impact penalty. Now there's two questions to ask when defining an impact penalty. First, does the penalty give the arena a clear definition of what is and is not allowed in the game? Second, can the guilty person learn something from this penalty to avoid it in the future? If you answer yes to both those questions, impact penalty, call it. If you answer no to both these questions, not an impact penalty, don't call it. And if you get one yes and one no, then you need to make a decision about what the game needs in that moment in time. Before I show you today's example, remember that the goal of these videos is to help you learn to communicate using impact penalties. So don't focus on what is and isn't a penalty, but what you're communicating with the penalty that you are calling. Now, here's the example. So in this video, we saw that the attacking player had a breakaway, the defender chased him down the ice, then slid on his stomach and swept the puck away without taking out the attacking player. We have two questions. Does a penalty in this situation set a clear example for what is and is not allowed for the arena? And does the guilty player learn something to change for next time to avoid a future penalty? The answer to both of these questions is no. Therefore, we do not have an impact penalty. What are we communicating to the arena with this call? That it is good to chase someone down and make a play on the puck, so long as there's not a clear foul on the player. What can the player learn from this situation, from this no call? That it's a good play to play the puck, to chase down the player, to play the puck in this type of a situation. And finally, if you called this in the opposite way, what would be the message to the arena? Well, there's two no answers here, so it would cause confusion. To call a penalty in this circumstance would not be a good example of causing the arena to understand what is and isn't allowed in a game. In the last part of that video, you saw that the player who was attacking bumped into the goaltender. Is this an impact penalty to assess a penalty to the attacking player? Two questions. Does it set a clear example for what is and is not allowed in the arena? This is kind of a maybe. Two, could the guilty player learn something next time to avoid this penalty? The answer is yes. Find a way to avoid the goaltender. Okay, so we have a yes and a no / maybe. So we have to make a decision based on what this circumstance requires. In this circumstance, it certainly appears as though the player did everything under their power to avoid the goaltender. So I would be leaning in the direction of no penalty in this circumstance. So what we're telling the arena by making this decision is that so long as you are making every effort to avoid the goaltender, there is no penalty to be called. What can that player do differently to avoid a penalty like this in the future? Well, continue to make every effort to avoid the goaltender by stopping, by turning in another direction, so that you don't hit the goaltender to the best of your ability. What if we made the opposite call here? What if we called a penalty? So if you were in a game where the teams were taking a lot of liberties, tapping, running into, running over the other team's goaltender, there might be a circumstance where this yes-no situation does present an impact penalty. So this is very much so a situation where perhaps in this game there's no need for a penalty because this was accidental and the player tried to avoid the goaltender, but perhaps in another game you need to call an impact penalty here, and it would be impactful because there's been a lot of risks and liberties taken with the goaltenders and how players are bumping into them.